Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This one will be a little different and a little longer because I interviewed a friend of mine who comes to us all the way from London, giving a lot of his experiences, how he dealt with them, and the importance of developing and maintaining a positive mindset to get us through. There's a lot of helpful nuggets that are sprinkled all throughout the video, so make sure you watch it all the way. So we are hanging out today with my friend Geoff Cook. Hey Geoff.
Hi, how are you, Nick?
I'm doing really well. I'm so thankful that you gave me the opportunity to meet with you today. And guys, I wanted to let you know sort of how we met. A few years ago, I was in an apartment building I loved, and I had to move, but he assumed the former apartment. And I met him one day, and I was, who's not enamored by a British accent? Like, who is this guy? He's kind of cool. And we just became friends, and, he started sharing with me a lot about his story, his life, and things like that. And so I thought I would share it with you as well. So, Geoff, why don't you go ahead and take the reins? Tell us about yourself. Like, where are you from?
Well, a town called Stevenage, which is 30 miles north of London. Always very handy to get into London, go to the city, whether it's working or go to cinema or theatre in the evening, dinner, or, just go in and see things like, Buckingham Palace and the Tower of London. It took me 30 years to see the Crown Jewels because, really, I would have gone there immediately. It's the Queen, it's the Crown Jewels, it's so close. It's like your favourite a restaurant. When you're driving home, there's probably restaurants you don't go to because, another 10 minutes you'll be home anyway.
Yeah.
So like I say, you can jump on the train within 20 minutes now, because the trains are really quick. You can be in Stevenage in the countryside, and you can see the glow of London's lights.
Nice.
Well, my mum used to work for Peter Jones, which is a retail store, and I worked in the warehouse as a Christmas temp help. And the thing is, it was in central London, and the store was actually where Princess Diana used to shop. It was one of those things, if Princess Diana came in, everyone was cleared from the shop floor except for the director and the floor manager, because obviously, well, they're in their suits and they talk a lot posher than I probably would. And, apparently Princess Diana would come in, would point to various things, they would pull it off the rack, and then she had her assistants, her valets, who would pay for it, and she would get in a limousine and go back to Buckingham Palace or wherever.
I also understand that in London you have a musical side to yourself.
In England we have hospitals have radio stations which broadcast to the patients and staff, and we play music. If you're feeling sick, unlike big radio, where the chances of you calling a radio station, one, the DJ answering the phone nowadays, because there's so much that's pre-recorded, and the DJ's taken an hour to record his show and he's gone home. So one, the chance of actually getting a DJ is rare, and then, oh, can you name a song?
Yeah, requests.
It's my brother's birthday.
Yeah. The
chances of that ever happening and you hearing it are next to nil. But a hospital radio station, hey, my friend Geoff, he broke his leg skiing, he's on Ward 6, can you play him Breaking Up Is Hard to Do? Can you find a song for him, can you play it at 6 o'clock? And then you can tell, hey Geoff, listen to the radio about 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we were there to, play music, do requests and things like that.
Did you have individual station names, or was it just a blanket name for the hospital and then your name as the DJ?
Well, the radio station was Radio Fairfield Hospital, and I used my name, Geoff Cook. I like the sound of my name. I like hearing my name.
DJ Geoff Cook.
DJ Jiving Geoff.
Well, get me together, why don't you?
I was also a club DJ. You know how, you go to a club, and you've got the DJ, he's got the decks, he's playing the music, and he comes on the radio, well, there you are, I was the man, Whitney Houston for here, and here's the 4 tops. And he just stands there, sits there waiting for the next tune. I tip my hat to a DJ called Roger Harris, who was the DJ at the Mecca Centre, which was kind of one of the clubs in Stevenage, and I got to know him, and he used to have an act. So Village People, why, and this is back obviously in the late 70s, early 80s, Village People, you didn't quite know which outfit he was going to put on, you know, when YMCA was top of the charts. You know, he might disappear into the dressing room, that song would come on and he would come out as the cowboy or the Indian.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I mean, and he had all these various things. You know, the vibe of the music gets into me now, and I didn't dress up, but while the song's playing, I'd get out on the dance floor and and dance. So,
Sort of like a musician, such as myself. When you're entertaining, you're entertaining fully. You're not just standing at the microphone and just letting everybody watch you.
I like to get out and join in and you know, dance with the rest of them. I would look at various videos, and then, you know, what I saw on the video I would translate into whatever it had. The radio station, we had the hospital radio station, to raise money for the station. At the weekends we would go out, play weddings and 21st birthday parties, 18, things like that.
And how long did you do that for?
God, I was on Radio Fairfield 1979 to 87, which is when I...
About 8 years.
About 8 years or so, yeah.
So what, you know, I'm listening to you, and I'm you know, as a musician myself, I'm taking much joy listening. You know, I'm thinking about, you know, the Bee Gees, Staying Alive, and Jiving Geoff, and all this other stuff. And it's just bringing me like this huge smile. But, you know, it makes me wonder, you know, why is there a reason you stepped away from that? That obviously was like a passion for you, the DJ experience, the whole hospital and club DJ experience. So why did you step away from that?
Well, I came over to the States, and I was working as a counsellor on a summer camp with kids with special needs in Connecticut. That's how I came over to the States. I had a breakup with a girlfriend. I came here on vacation to Chicago, fell in love with America, and came back to work with the kids. And that's really how my life has evolved. I got married, got divorced, and things like that.
I see.
I have actually worked on the radio here in the States on various stations. I'm world famous in Rhode Island.
So in Rhode Island, they would look you up as DJ Jiving Geoff?
No, just as Geoff Cook.
Wow.
But I've reported traffic news on every radio and TV station in Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts, Cape Cod. I've been on the radio, I've done lunchtime. I never did morning shows. I've seen on some of the pop stations to do morning shows. You gotta be engrossed in, hey, Madonna's seeing this guy, Justin Bieber got kicked in the head at a party.
It's really more talk,
I don't care for that. So if you're expecting that from my show, then it's not going to happen. I don't care. I don't care about this stuff. They either do a good song or a bad song. If it's a good song, I'll play it. If it's a bad song, you will never hear me play it on the radio unless the program director says, we've got to play this. So I did that, you know, I moved on. My phone lines lit up. What I developed was, when I was doing rock, not classic rock so much as, you know, rock songs that we know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and coming up, you know, I got music from Bon Jovi and a song from Queen, and then another song for a British artist. The lead singer was arrested at Providence Airport, but the chief of police dropped the charges to drive him to the concert he was going to in Boston. Now, we'll find out who that is when I come back from the break. So now, I can see your face. I know our audience can't see it.
Yeah.
You're like, who's that?
It's intriguing.
And so you are now going to listen to my commercials.
So you use your natural ability. You used your
knowledge of everything.
Your knowledge and your natural knack to find a way to wing people back in, to keep them on the edge of their seat. That's awesome.
And to keep them through the commercials.
We can backtrack a little bit. You mentioned, you know, some not so classic rock, but some rock. But what other types of music did you play?
No, I mean my main choice. I'm a blue-eyed white soul boy. I love Gladys Knight and Earth, Wind and Fire, the Stylistics, and Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, and I love that late 70s, early 80s disco /
that's the best
R&B soul. You know, I mean that's.
Me too. It really does something for your soul. You know, music, and I hate to, you know, slam today's music and sound so, you know, cliche-ish or like everyone else. Oh, this music, but this music does not compare to the music of the 70s, 80s, early 90s era. It never will, because music from that era still is going strong today. Yeah. It still moves people today. You're not gonna hear stuff from today 10 years from now. Okay.
Well, maybe you will, you see. And of course, because we're not into it nowadays, you know, the younger kids. But again,
but a larger percentage, I like to think, of the former era would carry over a lot easily, or a lot, you know, more easily, if you will, than the newer. I'm just being biased. Well, do you still have any clips from when you were doing your DJ career, or can you give us a sample of what a day for you was like?
I could get jazzed up for a song if I had to. Hot, hazy, humid into the high 90s. We've got 17 in a row coming up after the break on I-98. It's Geoff Cook on 94.7 WMAS. It's about 2:10. Coming up at 3 o'clock. Middle of the damn night request hour. So put your thinking caps on. Let's come up with some interesting songs for that hour. And of course, Brad and Tom, the morning show starts at 5:30. And don't forget, you can win car keys or 10 Gs throughout the day on 94.7 WMAS with Whitney Houston, and I'll always love you.
You know, I'm looking around your place, Geoff, and we've talked about this before. You said that you are a photographer, right?
A published photographer.
A published.
Excuse me.
Well, I stand corrected. So. What is it that gets your goat? What is it that is your passion when it comes to photography?
I photograph trains. Certainly in the UK, trains, not so big here, and airliners, aircraft. It's my big passion. Everyone should have a hobby. For me, you know, you sit me at an airport, you can leave me there 6 hours, and guess what? I'll be in the same place when you come back. And sometimes it's very difficult to realise, watching all this heavy metal taking off and landing, you know, to me it's my own personal show. I note down the aircraft tail numbers. Every aeroplane has a registration like a car, and I'm able to track the aircraft. You know, I end up knowing the history of the aircraft if it's something that, you know, belongs to this airline, and it used to belong to this airline, and you know, it's been with 3 other people in different countries. So I mean, that interests me as well.
When did that develop? Here in the States or in England?
In England. You know, when I lived in Stevenage, the house. We always joked, if you went to the washing post where my mum, you know, used to hang up the laundry, if you walked at 260 degrees west, you would end up on the centre line of Luton Airport. Luton is like Stevenage, 30 miles north of London. At the time, it wasn't overly busy, but it was more charter airlines rather than you know, the schedule of the big companies.
Yes.
So always had more interesting aircraft. And in the UK and across Europe, is on the wings, underneath the wings, they have the aircraft tail number. So I could actually, you know, take out a lounger in the backyard, pair of binoculars, look up and read the number of the airplane. In the United States, you don't have that. So it's kind of an airplane goes over your head.
Yeah.
You can't read. It's like, oh, I wish I knew what that one was, you know. So, but now with all the various flight trackers, you know.
Yeah.
You know, next time you go on one of your flights, you tell me where you're going. I'll tell you the aeroplane number. I'll tell you whether I've seen it. I'll tell you how many times I've seen it if I have, and I'll watch you fly from here to wherever you're going. You,
like a million other people, have, you know, come through some adversity with regard to a relationship or a marriage or things like that. Stuff that's really set you apart. I mean, really set you back. What would you say, you know, having gone through, you know, you've left one country where most of your family is, and you're here where none of your family is, but you're happy, you're maintaining, you're content. To what do you owe that? Was it just taking time away from people to heal? Was it, you know, prayer? What was that?
I don't know. This is going to be quite scattershot in some ways. I'll admit, at school wasn't the happiest time in my life. I used to be bullied, you know, and the reason why I got into the radio thing was I had no self-confidence. So by being on the radio, that you have the advantage of no one can see you because you're in a little room with, back then, record players.
They hear your voice, but they don't see you. Right. Yeah.
So in some ways, you know, and generally I'm actually a shy person. You know, I'm quite happy. I've learned to be my own best company. Maybe that's one of the results of being bullied. I went to college. And what was interesting at college, I ended up being the president of the Students' Union and on the board of governors. And some of the kids that used to bully me at school, a couple of years they'd failed exams, so they had to come to college to catch up. and they would have problems with classes or other issues, and they would have to come to me because I'd already been at the college for a couple of years catching up on exams that I messed up because I just didn't do anything at school.
These same kids who bullied you.
Yeah, they ended up at the same college. Go see Geoff, and they're like, oh, I can't. And I would hear from the new friends I'd made, and I can't see Geoff. Why not? He's a really good guy. He's a really cool guy. And so, my Scorpio, that side, I'm a true Scorpio. That vengeful side. Well, why should I help you?
Yeah.
You're an absolute,
ass.
Okay, absolute ass to me. Why now? Why not? So I got a few apologies, and it was kind of nice to see them squirm.
Which is why it's so important to treat people. I have a hashtag saying, reciprocal living. Regardless of what you believe or think, call it karma, call it where you reap what you sow, call it whatever. Whatever you're putting out will indeed come back.
And I think maybe from that experience is, it taught me to be a better person to other people. Now, I will admit, there have been people in my life, that I've bullied, I've been mean to. Bullies usually pick on, the weaker people. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm quite happy. I'm not one that cares about having the latest gadget. I've never been one to chase the latest brand. Okay, my sneakers, I've got to have a flash on them.
I can relate.
Okay, I got my tax return. I filed my taxes early. I got my tax return. Oh, I've got enough money. I could buy a 45-inch TV. Oh, I need a new computer. Oh, I need a new mattress. And it's like, well, why don't you just make do with what you got?
So Geoff, what you share with me has been pretty amazing, and life in Europe, and it's just England, it's just amazing, all your experiences. I can only imagine the things that you've experienced firsthand already, good and bad and in between, but having that to pull from, what would you say coming from where you've been to where you are now to the viewers to help them in that?
We're going back, I was talking about my parents there, and it's not chasing these material things. Okay? I try and be frugal. I wish I had more savings, but
we all?
I've never met a bag of chips I didn't like, and I've never met an opportunity to travel I didn't like. One of my biggest regrets is, I have been married, but I don't have children of my own. That's probably my biggest regret, but it's something I live with. Throughout life, there are disappointments, and I feel we live in a society, you have to be careful. Oh, don't tell little Tommy, he came second, he came fourth, he came last. Guess what? I've come fourth, I've come last, I've been first in class. I've had those, you came last, all right? Well, I need to do better, so, Paul Broadfield and Paul Hickford, I beat them next time. And there's that competitive spirit, we're not allowed to kids aren't allowed to keep score at school or whatever, which I think is ridiculous. Kids do keep score, it's just the teachers. Guess what? There's a lot of disappointment out there. You need to be able to learn disappointment and learn how to handle it. I will admit, last couple of years have actually been a bit dark. I was in a relationship that I loved the person, and I cheated. I don't know. It's not like me. Don't even ask why I did it, because I can't even explain it. So that relationship came crashing down financially. Everything collapsed on me. The last couple of years that's happened, and the lead up to that was my girlfriend of 16 years passed away, cancer, about 3-4 years ago now. And I lost my way spiritually. I know my mother, when I first came out to Camp Horizons back in 1987, which is the summer camp with the kids, she always said to me, so where does God play in this? Where's God sitting with you? It was kind of an interesting question, and it's like, well, Mum, if I'm going out working with these kids, earning about $1.23 an hour for 9 weeks of my summer, I hope that God's watching and saying, you know what, that Geoff's all right. I hope he's looking at the other things. And I've always tried to treat people as I want to be treated. And again, I think that goes back to the bullying I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That
So how do you use those negative experiences, those adverse experiences, to help you along today?
I think maybe it's, I'm a stubborn old git. I had to learn to ask for help. I'm always there, you need this, there, go ahead, I'll get it back. No, when you're done, bring it back to me. Keep it if necessary.
There's a saying, closed mouths don't get fed. We're so, you and I can relate to that because you're so used to caring for everyone else. You don't feel right.
Yeah.
Asking something. But then it only hurts you. You only hurt yourself.
I could make excuses because that's the thing to do. The reason why this or that or whatever. My girlfriend passed away. I went on a spending binge. I flew first class back and forth to London. I overspent. I didn't track things. Maybe that was my depression. I don't know. In retrospect, I knew what I did was destructive. I was close to being evicted from my apartment. Like you say, it's that ownership.
That's important that viewers know. That's the one thing I mentioned before. We have to own some stuff. Because that takes us out of victim status. A lot of us want to live as victims. And we wonder why we're not going forward in our lives and why we're not growing because we're still in that victim status. First part of coming out of that status is just owning it and moving from there.
So I was faced with no car, a repossession, almost no apartment, no money. I had a boss that was on my case because I'm not performing and he's paying me well to do my job and I wasn't doing it. And I just sat down and I said, I don't know where to turn right now. He found me an attorney to help with the financial side. So he looked at my, the problem with the eviction and he paid that and cleared that. And I got her, and the car. She ain't the prettiest car in the parking lot. She ain't the newest car.
But she got a car.
I own her. I have no car payment.
Mm-hmm.
I own it. And when I turn that key, she springs into life.
And this is all because you didn't just you were discouraged. You were very down at your lowest maybe. But you didn't just totally give up.
No, and I will admit, I lived in an 8th floor apartment. We lived by 2 railway lines.
Mm-hmm.
The thoughts went through, but again, there's part of me that I don't quit. Right, let's find a way around it. And also, my renewed faith. I've said prayers, and what I've asked for in the prayer has happened. That's the sign that, okay, something's going on just here. This is more than coincidence. And, I try
You're
to keep
becoming more in touch with your spiritual side.
Yeah. And the faith there, which is kind of like, Mum, so
going inward.
Where does God fit into all this? All right. And again, I lost my way, but... I found that. But the other one is that level of content. Like I say, I'm not chasing I'm not chasing the newest thing. Doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. And I know we're bombarded you can go to the gas station, pump gas, and there's a TV screen there trying to sell you stuff. And it's like, why? I don't need this. And every time, I've been sucked in by the chocolate bar by the counter because that's their last grab. There's some.
But to recognize your needs from your wants. It's a level of stress we don't have to experience, really.
I play silly games. Okay, that keeps me interested. I invent games or whatever. When I'm out driving, you see trucks on the highway, big trucks on the highway. I have a game where I go through the alphabet, letter A, all right? You find a truck, Akron, Alphaville, name that city. B, could be from Berea or Burlington, Vermont or something. And just go through. I've been stuck on X for a year and a half. It's just coming up with things that keeps it interesting. It's silly little things and finding things to entertain yourself.
That's the whole thing, not having to assimilate. Finding things, whatever, be creative with it. I think the only way that we'll know to apply these things is if we know ourselves, right? And if we love ourselves. Like if you didn't take that time, whenever that was, to dig, to go, just to reflect on what, you wouldn't know how much joy you got from sitting and watching a plane. You wouldn't know how much joy you got from whatever.
I'm at the stage of my life, I'll admit, I'm 59, I turned 60 this year. I know what I like, I know what I like to do. I'm fairly stuck in my ways. I always, someone suggests something, I'll try it once. But it's that level of content, there are certain things that I miss. I'm single, so obviously, having, some companionship, that would be nice. I know a lot of people. I have a job. I hope I never have to apply for another job ever again, because I really love where I work. I have a hobby. It's one, I talk to people and I love doing it. I love to travel. The current situation we're in right now, with the virus problems, knowing how low the plane fares, I so want to put my backside in a seat of an aeroplane and go somewhere. Just be content. Look at the smaller things. Look around at what you've got. We're so lucky. I grew up in England, and I've made America my home and become a citizen. We have so much. And
we often take it for granted.
We really do. There's a lot for granted. Accept disappointment in your life, because disappointment, that's the school of hard knocks. Alright, I tried that, it didn't work. Okay, well, try again, maybe it will work. And you were asking, the reason why I'm not in radio now is the job I have gives me an opportunity to travel, pays me reasonably well for what I do, and I think sometimes I'd like to do the radio, but on the other hand, I'm quite happy to listen to others doing it.
Yeah.
I've had my shot, and it's put food on the table for me and my family, and like I said, my name is known out there. To me, everything's good. Learn from the mistakes and try very hard not to repeat them.
Because there is truly a lesson. Even if you feel there is no lesson, you have to look, because there always is a lesson. But I just want to thank you so much, my friend, for, we've been trying, Geoff will tell you guys, we've been trying to do this interview for months now. We initially did it about 6 months ago. And
maybe even longer, actually. I think it was longer. And
I lost all of the footage. We sat here for over an hour. I was disgusted. I was disgusted that A, I lost the footage, and B, I felt like I wasted his time. But Geoff's a good guy. He inspires me to want to continue to put my best foot forward despite whatever. And I hope that this video inspires you as well. So Geoff, thank you so much. Much love to you. And is there anything else you want to say?
Love, be kind to each other. So much, we can't have dialogue anymore.
Yeah.
I believe in one thing, this is how we should do things, and it would be nice to discuss it, because as people we have so much more in common than we do differences. I've learned that. Just try and be happy. Okay? You've got what you've got. Don't be chasing something just because you think it will make your life better. It's your soul that you need to nourish.
Amen.
Not stuff around you. Just be out there, be nice to be nice, give out what you want to get back.
Reciprocal living at its
Reciprocal
best.
living, yeah, you say. And strive hard to be every day. Every day you get is a blessing. You're only going to get a certain number of days, and just make. What did they say? Live this one if it's your last.
It's your last.
But no, Nia, I really appreciate you coming down and listening to me ramble on for the last hour. But,
you are fine. Thank you so much for your time. Knowing a little more insight into your life is just amazing. You keep being the person that you are. Keep bringing us joy. Keep making everybody happy.
Well, thanks, and thanks for watching this long as well. I don't know.
And please subscribe, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's the simple things in life.